Right, good evening. Welcome to our Parent Academy series, the Mini Academy. My name is Gilberto Baptiste. I'm the program specialist from the Family and Community Engagement Office. And today we will be introducing you to an application that is in each student's launchpad or dashboard at OCPS. The application's name is Xello, and that is used for the students to discover relevant college, university, trade, military, and career options based on their personalities, based on their skills, and their knowledge, right? So today we are very fortunate to have Christopher Grace, and Christopher is a resource teacher at the student service at OCPS. And along with Christopher, we also have Robert Palmer, who is a senior administrator at College and Career at OCPS. They will introduce and explain how to use this platform. So I am gonna put some information on the chat, and there you're going to find a way to communicate with me, to communicate with Christopher. And if you have any question, then you can also write it there. You can use the chat to participate and post your questions. To enable closed captions and translations, you can please click on the CC button and select your preferred language, right? So again, if you have any question, you can use the chat to ask questions and then we will be able to answer them. So with no further ado, I will leave you with Christopher Grace from the OCPS. All right. At the end, I am going to place a survey also on the chat. And by the way, on the chat also, I added information for our next activity, our next events where you can register and all of that. All right, with no further ado. So I'm gonna ask Christopher to start.
Hello, my name is Christopher Grace. I do work for OCPS in Student Services, and I am the Xello lead for trainings and the platform. My co-partner here is Senior Administrator Robert Palmer. We're having some technical difficulties, but he is here, and you will hear his voice in a few minutes when we go over this. I'm going to share my screen with you in just a moment to go over a few things, so bear with me just one moment. All right. So we're going to be talking about our Xello Family Access. Couple of expectations. Utilize a device with a microphone and webcam capability if available. Enable your webcam to build community. Participate in discussions verbally and writing, but we're also going to be having the chat. So if you have any questions, just type your question in the chat. We'll be happy to answer it for you. And then mute your microphone when you are not speaking. A couple of commitments. We want to choose your attitude, make the choice to be appropriate learning this time, be present, have fun, and then also make someone's day. The agenda that we're going to have today, we're going to be talking about Xello as an overview, just what it's about, what it entails, some lessons for each level, starting from kindergarten all the way through high school. We're going to be talking about our family access that you can be a part of as a parent or guardian of a child at OCPS. Some resources that are going to be invaluable to you. Then I'm going to go through a couple of the student demos so that you can see what your students see. And then Robert is going to take over for a little bit and talk about Common App and its applications. So research shows that when parents are involved, students do have higher test grades, higher test scores, higher passing rates, better school attendance, greater enrollment rates in post-secondary education. They have increased motivation, better social skills. They show improved behavior, and they adapt well to schools that have things come up. They are able to be flexible with that. Also, it does promote better self-esteem. We have lower rates of suspension and disciplinary issues. We also have a decreased use of drugs and alcohol, fewer instances of violent behavior. So, what are the tangible skills that parents can teach their children to ensure success? So, one of the things that we can do is start teaching organizational skills. Now, I'm a parent, I have a sixth grader, and that transition from fifth grade to sixth grade is difficult, and we have had to teach him even more organizational skills that are actually being used in these PowerPoint bullet points, using different folders, writing down due dates, important items, being organized, and explaining that doing a little each day can help get projects done, or how to plan accordingly if other plans seem to interfere with some days. It establishes routines so we can set a designated time, physical space for homework and studying, get things ready the night before. We can have a good breakfast ready, lunch prepared, homework and books, backpack in the backpack with their laptop and their charger fully charged, and maybe even their clothes picked out for the next day. We can talk about consequences or failed grades. May have to do a credit recovery program, which means more work if they get a D or an F in a course. They could possibly do summer school, or even at the worst case scenario, we could possibly have a grade level retention. So let's talk about Xello. Xello is our new career planning platform. This is a tool that the state of Florida legislation decreed that all students in the state of Florida need to have a career and planning process and or platform or route that they can have within the class period so that they can start to plan for things that they want to do outside of high school. Xello is a wonderful tool because in the past we have had different platforms that mainly focused on middle school but primarily high school. Xello actually starts from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. It even allows for the students to access any of their projects, portfolios, and resumes they've built 5 years after they've graduated. Xello allows students to do the following, though. They can think about their goals for the future. They can work on a variety of activities from kindergarten to high school. We actually are going to be implementing grades 3 through 12 for this year. We had a soft rollout in February, and it was met with a lot of success. But for the first year, we're going to mainly focus on the third through 12th grade year. Those curriculums and those lessons that I'm going to show you in a moment are already built into their curriculum through their either electives, health class, and or U.S. history class in 8th grade. Also, we have different venues for them to work on these options in high school as well, including freshman orientation and also college and career specialists popping into classes and talking about those. We also build self-knowledge, explore their options, and create achievable plans. One thing that I love about Xello is that it is flexible. It's adaptable. It actually grows with the student because they start it in kindergarten and they move on up. The platform consists of interest tests, skill levels, personality tests, all geared towards narrowing down to what is the best career match for that student. And it is data entry. They have the opportunity to change anything they want each year, or even they could change it daily if they wanted to. We hope they interact that much with it, but they're able to input their ideas and what they would like to do. They can change their mind on a few things. For example, in kindergarten, I wanted to be an astronaut, but by the time fifth grade came around, I knew that science wasn't my bag. So I would be able to change my options there, and actually the program would grow and be flexible with them. And it does explore options. OCPS, we try to make every student college and career ready, and that's awesome. That's wonderful. But not every student is built for college. What if they want to go into the military? Or what if they want to be an apprentice and go into a trade school? Or what if they want to start their own business and become an entrepreneur? With Xello, if they're being honest, it will give them the opportunities to explore those different avenues to achieve their career goal. And it develops 21st century skills needed to thrive in the world of work. So it has a extremely strong CTE, or career and technical education, component to it. It delivers soft skills, interviewing skills, job searching skills, resume building skills, all developed so that they can thrive outside of high school. So the lessons for Xello are at each level, and I'm going to talk on grades 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and high school. In grades 3 through 5, it's going to be building those resiliency skills, encouraging self-discovery, creating awareness, building future readiness skills, helps students become in middle school, it helps students become future ready no matter what their background, skills, or interests. It builds self-knowledge, explores career interests, assists students in creating a personalized academic and career plan. And then in high school, we're going to be able to utilize those inputs that they have done for the last 8 years, and we're going to be able to start to narrow in on that exact career match. It provides, again, a strong career and technical education component with lessons that are built on job searching, soft skills, interview skills, and those resume building skills. And the resume that they build, what we have seen, are exactly what you would be able to print out and hand right to an employee. We also have links in there where they can actually submit their resume to Indeed or LinkedIn, and it would upload that resume for them. So these are actual professional resumes that they would be producing. And again, it provides not just college and university avenues to reach that student's career, but we also have apprenticeship, entrepreneurship, military, CTE, and trade schools. So Zello Family Access, I'm going to come back to this in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and give you the demo of what it's going to look like for your students. When they click on their Launchpad, they're going to have this Zello option right here. They won't have to have a username or password. They just click on it and it would go right to their homepage. Now, this is a teacher's homepage, and I want to show you the lessons that we have created. Xello has created these for us. We have, obviously, for 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. For 3rd through 5th, we have mission interests, mission school subjects. And then 4th, we have mission interests, school subjects, and skills. And then in 5th grade, we have mission interests, school subjects, mission skills, and mission goal. These are we have 2 for 3rd grade, 3 for 4th grade, and 4 for 5th grade. Now, these we do not have as of right now. You can't see the demo. Okay, 1 second, please. Can you see it now? No. Okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to share again. How about now? Perfect. Okay, to recap, we have 3 through 5, we have 6 through 12. These are the 2 for 3rd grade. These are the 3 for 4th grade, and these are the 4 for 5th grade. Now, a couple of things. The ones that have the blue are the only ones, this little blue dot right here. These are the only core lessons that they would be doing for that year. In the future, we may add additional ones, but for their first year, we just wanted to just get our feet wet and get into the program. Another thing you want to notice is that you'll see doubles. For the third grade, we have mission, interests, and school subjects. We have the same two on fourth grade, and then we added skills. And in fifth grade, we had the same interests, schools, subjects, and skills as we did up here. There's purpose behind that. The reason is because building these into additional grades, it starts to do a foundational effect, and it allows for the program to grow and be flexible with the students. So if they've done their interest tests in third grade, fourth grade comes around, life has happened, a year has passed, maybe their interests have changed. They're able to change, delete, add to however they want to, and that's how the program would grow. So when we see doubles, they may not have a lot of work to do on their fourth grade or none to do on their fifth grade. But if their interests have changed, this is their opportunity to do so. And let me show you what we see when we do I am going to go to Popka Middle, excuse me, not a Popka, Loma Elementary. So you can see what a fifth grade student's demo account would look like. So this is what their homepage is all about. And they would click, first thing they would do is they would click About Me, and it would allow them to change and add. If they've never done it, they can fix it here. So we're going to click on Interests. And maybe this is my fifth grade year and I am not into basketball anymore. I can take it away, but instead of basketball, I really love camping now. That's what I'm into right now. I am not into drawing. I'm not very good at it, but I am into laser tag. So they can change it and update it as needed. Same thing with the skills. So the skills, they can choose any skill they want. We go hands-on and we do coding, and it lets you rate it. So I'm a beginner, not very good at it, but I'm interested. And if we have one sports, we can take it away. So again, flexibility for the student to move and grow and allow their life to unfold, and the program will follow them with it. And so with Xello, in all the grades, there is a built-in component of interest tests, personality tests, skill level tests, all those things geared to narrow down what is the best match for the student. And then here on their homepage, you would be able to see, or excuse me, they would be able to see their missions, or in other words, their lessons. These are the assignments that they have to do before the end of the year. All right. Now I'm going to show you a high school. Actually, let's do middle. Eighth grade year is a difficult year. You're about to transition into high school. So what we've done is theirs looks a little bit different from third to fifth. It's more streamlined. There is the same tools. It's just laid out more in tune with a middle schooler's aesthetic. We have the interests and school subjects at work. These are their lessons that they would have to do for the year. And they can actually go back to old ones, and they can click on sixth grade or seventh grade and go back to there. These right here are what they would be able to, this is where their interest tests and personality tests and life interests and things that they would like to do are located right here in the About Me section. And I want to show you when we have actually honestly answered the quizzes or the surveys and the tests honestly, it will produce careers that are based upon their input that are as closely matched as possible. I've trained a lot of teachers on this already, and I've had them create their own student demo account. And what happens is I say answer honestly, and 90% of the time it came back as art teacher, counselor, a school principal, things of that nature. So if you're answering honestly, it does give out the correct career or the closest career. So if I'm interested in being a historian, I could click on it and it's going to give me a breakdown of that entire career. It's going to give me a job description, careers that are similar to the one for historian, the demand, the core tasks, what the workplace environment is like. Based upon my personality, thinker is one of the attributes that I have that would be a good match for this job, this career. Some of the working conditions might be at colleges, museums, and so forth. The earnings, average, national, and even into Florida and Orange County based upon their zip code. We get an annual salary range for the different careers that are sampled for them. So a lot of good information here. It also at the bottom, and even more so in the high school demo account, is when we get to the bottom, that's when it starts to show you the avenues to get to be a historian. So for a historian, um, at the bottom for high school, it would show different colleges that focus on that, what majors you would need to focus on to get that, different avenues for that. Going back to the home page, there are a few things here that I do want to show you. There is a Florida Life Simulator. This is new in the last month for OCPS, but students can go in after they have done their surveys and their tests and they have at least 4 or 5 careers that they've liked. They can then go into the Florida Life Simulator, and it gives a month-long real life, real world expense simulation based upon that career. So I have liked these three. So as a helicopter pilot, I would click on it and it would tell me, okay, my income, my family income, expenses. It would then go into a simulation with real life situations where you have to spend money, you get money, your paycheck, how do you spend it, where do you allocate it, making real life decisions. Do I get a new tire or do I get food for the next day? Those are the types of things that they would be exposed to. And it's a wonderful tool to open some eyes and give them a little opportunity to see what it's like a day in the life of a caterer or a helicopter pilot. And let me go to Apopka High School. And I encourage you, when you have your access, and I'll talk about that in a moment, you have the option to do your own demo account. I encourage you to go on there and to answer the questions as if you were as honestly as you can. Build your own profile, and I think it'd be wonderful discussions for you and your student. All right, Apopka High and senior level. So there's high school version, looks exactly like the middle school version with a few more pieces of information. We do have resources down here for seniors, so they can find out about Bright Futures program, high school graduation requirements, talking about the Common App, um, and when we get to it, it'll be time for their senior survey. So my senior survey is from last year because I'm not an actual senior, but theirs would say 24, 25. They also have the Florida Life Simulator. And let me go to one of the jobs. I'm going to find, so at the bottom, it starts to show different related majors and programs in the area and abroad that they could actually start to investigate and research to see if they're interested in. All right, I'm going to stop sharing and start sharing again for the PowerPoint because I think that's what the problem was. Okay, very good. All right, so some of the tangible skills, I'm sorry, there we go. So our Xello overview. We've talked about our elementary grades, our middle school grades, and our high school, given some demos of those. So the Xello family access. Parents are going to receive an email notification, and I got clarification today. It's actually going to be this coming Tuesday. You will receive an email with a link to activate the account. The email is whatever email was posted in Skyward when you registered your child. So if your email is incorrect, you can connect with your school. We can change that. But this parents only need to set the password to get started. So once you get the link, you'll click on it, set your password, and then you're done. It'll also have the link to access that account as well. All parent account information, including up-to-date email addresses, come directly from Skyward. If parents don't activate their account or forget their password, parents can contact their child's school to receive another email invitation. Oops, sorry. Once the Once the account is open and set up, parents can manage their own personal account. You can change the Xello family language to English or to Spanish. You can view your child's work. And again, you can actually try Xello on your very own, which I highly recommend. So here are some resources. We have using Xello at home, ideas on how your child can use Xello at home. We can complete and interact with a lesson, complete an assignment, build their About Me page, and that's going over their personality, interests, skill levels, and just explore the possibilities those careers come up with. We can use timely insights and advice. These resources for parents on the Zello blog can help. There's 10 hands-on ways you can help your teens develop their interests, better lines of communication with students, parental involvement, and future planning. And then some additional resources is Zello Help. So when you get your account information, you can always click on this link and it would take you to a support site where you can get direct help from Zello themselves. And then your actual Zello school contacts would be your child's teachers and or your child's school counselor. Either one would be able to help you out. Okay, I am going to let my colleague Robert speak on the Xello and Common App integration.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I just want to make sure, is my audio coming through clear?
Yes.
I got it. So, as Mr. Grace mentioned, my name is Robert Palmer. I am one of the senior administrators here in our Academics 912 team within Student Services. And much of my role focuses on the post-secondary aspects, making sure that students have a plan in place for college and career, which is a perfect dovetail into talking more about Xello. So I'll go to the next slide and go a little bit further into detail over Xello and its Common App integration. But before I do that, I do want to touch on some of the key points that Mr. Grace has already shared. Just to reiterate, Xello is our online college and career platform for the state of Florida that OCPS will be utilizing this year for grades 3 through 12. So what that means is it's completely free to OCPS students. And the plan is to make sure that students have access to this platform so that they can be intentional as they navigate their experience during their time in OCPS. So again, it is a free platform for students to have access to. As Mr. Grace already mentioned, Xello has a wide variety of features to support your students in the exploration of different colleges and career pathways available to them. So that includes the interactive assessments that focus on career interests, as well as personality and learning styles, and then the skills labs that are also available. And the beautiful thing is that we know that students change over time, their interests, their skill sets, and even their learning style. So each year, students continue to build on those core lessons, as Mr. Grace mentioned, and there's also opportunities for them to explore other lessons within Xello as well. And as I shared a little bit earlier in the chat, but I want to make sure I bring it up verbally for everyone, OCPS students will have to access their Xello accounts through Launchpad, with the exception of our charter school students who will be able to access Xello via the information that is at the very bottom of the PowerPoint. So that's going through Xello's login website and putting in their OCPS student ID as the username, and their student birthday as the password. And that's specifically for our charter school students. For our students that are in OCPS that are not charter school students, they'll go through their OCPS Launchpad to access Xello. So looking at the resources to support, I definitely want to take a moment to go over how Xello has a wide variety of resources to support our students, but specifically our seniors who are working through the college application process as we speak. For everyone's knowledge, during the fall of senior year is when the college application process really picks up for seniors, and that means working on the Common Application. The Common Application is a one-stop platform for students to apply to multiple colleges and universities, both in-state and out-of-state. That way they don't have to go to individual college or university websites to apply to each school. With the Common App and Xello partnership, they have the integration in place where students can streamline a lot of the college application process to ensure not only that they're staying on track with their college application materials that they need to submit through Common App, but also to be able to provide requests for their school counselor and teachers within OCPS to provide documents such as transcripts, letters of recommendation, and other important materials that will help them in their pathway to getting accepted to a college or university. I do want to pause here because there is a quick video that if I have the ability or if Mr. Grace has the ability to access, I'll have him go ahead and share the video for you all. And I do see in the comments that the volume is going in and out, but please tell me if you guys are better able to hear me right now. Mr. Grace, is there still a volume issue?
Nope, you're good now. Where is the video at?
So the video is actually going to be linking your Common App to Xello, that hyperlink. If I can share my screen, I can go ahead and pull that up.
I'll stop sharing.
All right, thank you very much. All right, can everyone see my screen right now? Okay, so I'll briefly play this video, which is just an overview of linking your Common App to Xello. And again, this is going to be specifically for our current seniors and our families of seniors on the call, but it's also great information for everyone on the call to be aware of.
Common App has teamed up with colleges across the U.S. to streamline the college application process for students. You can use Xello to request documents for your Common App applications. But first, you need to sync your Common App account with Xello. Here's how you do that. You'll be starting out in Xello, so log in and navigate to College Planning. Click View My Applications to see the list of colleges you've been tracking. At the top of the page, in the banner with the Common App logo, click Connect. This pop-up lets you know that Common App is going to open a new tab. There's also a note to let you know that after syncing, you may have to redo some of your work. For example, you may need to request counselor forms and teacher evaluations again. Once you've signed into Common App, you'll be redirected back to Xello. Now you can see that the banner has been updated, and you can see which college applications are synced with Common App by looking for the Common App logo next to the school's name. That's it! Now you're ready to begin requesting documents through Xello.
So as I shared, the Common App integration with Xello is pretty seamless, and there's a lot of resources available as well with Xello as a whole. If you were able to see on my screen, there's a lengthy list of videos that Xello has in place that not only go over the Common App integration with Xello, but also Xello use for families and some of the other features available for Xello or to students through Xello, which is a free platform. I did see that question come up in the chat, but it is a free platform available to our OCPS students. And we are also working through the process. I believe Tuesday is what Mr. Grace mentioned to send out information on how families can also access the platform. I know Mr. Grace is pulling up the PowerPoint so I can finish out my set of slides for tonight. But as you continue to have questions, please post them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer. So just to wrap up my section of the slides and talking about Xello and the Common App integration. As I shared before, there's a lot of resources that Xello already has pre-created to help guide students and families through the Common App integration process. So there's a detailed guide that not only provides a description of the integration and how it works, but also a lot of frequently asked questions that come up among students and families as well. Now, one of the things I want to highlight, and I did not mention this on the previous slide, but I'll highlight now, is that not every college or university utilizes Common App. Some institutions, for example, Valencia College, they'll use their own institution or their own college website for students to apply to the college or university. So that is something to be aware of. While Common App has over 3,000 colleges and universities as a part of their system, there are some that use their own school-based or college-based application website. And just a quick note with Valencia College, at the high school level, there's a lot of outreach that is done by Valencia College to support students who may be interested in pursuing that as their pathway after high school. So I encourage you to have your student reach out to their college and career specialist or their school counselor to find out more information about how they can apply to Valencia College, but also how they can determine which post-secondary pathway is best for them. As Xello is only a piece of that puzzle, it allows students to have that self-exploration, but being able to work with their college and career specialist or school counselor is really going to help set them up for a pathway towards success to pursue whatever their college or career goal would be. One last note on this resources to support the Common App and Xello integration. It's extremely important to make sure that your seniors understand that they are still completing the college application process in Common App. What Xello and Common App will do as a result of the integration, it will help streamline the process for your student to request documents from their counselor or educators within OCPS, but also allows them to have an easy way to track their progress in completing their college application materials, as it can be a daunting process with a lot of steps. So that's all that I have to cover. I see that there's some questions still coming in via chat. So I'll hand it back to Mr. Grace and I'll do my best to answer all the questions that come in through the chat.
Well, this is actually a good place to start asking those questions. I know we cover a lot of information, but we will be answering some questions here for the next few minutes. Let's go. What if a student wants to go to Valencia for 2 years before applying to a university? Can they use this while at Valencia? So they do have access to the platform 5 years after graduation. We don't know exactly what that looks like because this is our first year. We will after our seniors leave after this school year. My intuition tells me that they would have to get a username and login password instead of going through Launchpad because they would no longer have their student ID. But yes, they would still be able to access the platform up to 5 years. Let's see, the next question we have. Are teachers already using it, for example, to request letters of recommendations? So yes, teachers are using it K through 12 already. We've already trained hundreds and hundreds of teachers, and we've got a self-paced course for them to go through as well that is loaded with educators learning about it. So yes, they are using it. For the letters of recommendation, I'm going to let Mr. Palmer speak to that.
Yeah, so I'll touch on that point. We have made sure that our schools are aware that with the integration of Common App and Xello, that teachers will now submit letters of recommendation through Xello, which teachers have access through Xello through their Launchpad as well. And they have the support of their college and career specialists at the school and school counselors to ensure that they have assistance in submitting those letters of recommendation. So if your student is applying to colleges and is requesting letters of recommendation from their teachers, and they're unfamiliar with Xello or need support in completing that process, the college and career specialists as well as the school counselors can support both your student, but also the teachers at the school in ensuring that those documents are submitted.
Excellent. If you connect your teacher recommendation through Xello, do you also have to add them directly into Common App?
No, you do not. If you request an OCPS teacher within Xello to complete letters of recommendation or provide documents, you will not have to go back into Common App to also request that same teacher to provide that information.
All right. Next question was similar. Yes, we are already using it. Teachers are already implementing it into schools, classrooms. Our middle school's already aware of it. I'm going to make that a broader sentence question. Are any student aware of it? They'll be aware of it when the teachers introduce it to you, or our parents are involved in introducing, because they can do it right now. But most students aren't going to pay it attention until we introduce it to them, which we will be doing. It is a state mandate, so they will all be participating. How can we tell once the recommendations have sent the required documents? Do we see that in Xello or in Common App?
So I'll jump in on that one. Once you've successfully integrated your Common App and Xello accounts, you'll be able to see the progress on your documents being submitted by your teachers or your school counselor within Xello. So you'll actually go back to the college planning tab and it will be able to list all of the schools you've added in Common App already. And it will show the progress of those documents being submitted to those specific institutions from your school counselor or teacher or teachers.
Is there any video on how to request documents to teachers or PDF, step by step?
Yes, there is. I believe in the next to last slide in the PowerPoint, which will make sure you all have access to it. It's actually linked in the title, Request Documents from Educators. So you'll be able to see a video that walks you through that process, but there's also a step-by-step guide that is included in the description of the YouTube video as well. So there's definitely a lot of guidance from Xello, not only for educators, but also for students and families.
Do all of the schools have college and career counselors?
So every traditional high school has a college and career specialist at the school. So right now in our district, we only have a college and career specialist at the high school level. But for students who may not be at a traditional high school, thinking about our middle school students who want to really be more proactive and thinking about the college route or career routes as well, you can always work with your school counselor as they are also well versed at setting you up for success for whatever comes after high school.
My son graduated high school May 2024, but Xello wasn't ready yet. He is not going to college, but can he use Xello now as an alumni? He can use it up to 5 years. He would need to connect with his former school counselor, who would then connect with me, and then we would probably have to get him a username or password. Those are things that we're still working on, but feel free to start the process and we'll figure it out. If my daughter were to apply to a college that does not use Common App like a UC school, would Xello not work for sending documents and or letters of rec to those schools?
So if I'm understanding correctly, UC would be University of California System institutions. So if that is the case, if there is a school that is not using Common App, you would have to have the counselor provide those documents through whichever process that that institution is using. And counselors will still be able to do so. It's just your student would need to make their counselor aware. That way they can get those documents submitted through the right portal.
If you connect your teacher recommendations through Xello, do you also have to add them directly into the Common App?
No, you will not have to add teacher recommendations in Common App once you've already added them through Xello or requested them through Xello. I will say if there's other recommenders, for example, members of your community that you would like to provide a letter recommendation that are external to OCPS, you can go into Common App and add them as a other recommender. But as far as OCPS teachers and staff, you will be able to request them through Xello, and you will not have to go back and request them through Common App as well.
One of the questions is, where is the app going to be for access? And that for students, it'll be on their Launchpad. For parents, you'll get the link in that email coming out on Tuesday. For parents or adults, can parents or adults be eligible and apply through this program, or is that only for high school students? And this program offers scholarships also. So it does not offer scholarships. It offers applications to a variety of scholarships. And as far as eligibility, I do not know if we have an adult learning component at this time for OCPS. I haven't heard anything about that. As of right now, it's simply for high school students. Robert, did you have anything to add to that?
No, it's as you mentioned, Mr. Grace, it's for high school students. There isn't an adult component at this time that we know of, and that's primarily going to be something, if it were to happen, that would be through the state.
My 8th grader is in private school but has completed some virtual subjects. Can he create a profile before going into high school? It depends on the private school. Is it a charter school with OCPS? Is my question. If it is, then they have charter access. They just have to go through a different route. Anything on that you would add to?
No, Mr. Grace, you're spot on. If it is a student that is not in a charter school, once they actually go through the enrollment process to be with our schools and OCPS, then they will have access to Xello through their Launchpad, like our students already enrolled in an OCPS school.
Xello provides information on how middle school and high school students can be better prepared for the university's process. What tools do you recommend in addition of a counselor meeting? I'm going to also let Mr. Palmer talk on that because you would want to have a meeting with your college and career specialist.
Yeah, absolutely. Meeting with the college and career specialist definitely is a key component to that step, along with meeting with the counselor. One of the cool features in Xello is that there's actually a college planning or plans and goals section where you can go to a college planning tab and identify that you're interested in the college pathway, whether that be a four-year university or a two-year college. And with that, it actually gives you sample to-do list items or tasks or steps to reach that goal. One of those would be meeting with a counselor. Some of those other things would be completing research through the Explore tab that's in Xello. So there's a few different steps that Xello actually already has created for any student interested in that pathway.
Excellent. My daughter is in 9th grade. Can she use it? Yes, absolutely. Kindergarten through 12th grade students all have access. They can do as many of the activities as they want, as many times as they want. We are pushing 3rd grade and on this first year. Next year it will be K through 12, but any student enrolled in OCPS can use it. In Xello, when you link a teacher to have access to letter of recommendation, would linking them as a teacher for more than one college mean that they would have to do more than one letter, or will they be able to do only one letter, thus connecting to all colleges?
So that's a really good question. Teachers will have a portal, educator account, just like Mr. Gray showed when he first logged in. And there will be a college planning tab where all the recommendation requests that they received from students will pop up. When they actually go into that portal, they'll be able to see an individual student's name and see what institution that student is requesting a letter of recommendation for, and they'll be able to complete that one letter recommendation and have that shared out to the multiple institutions that require a teacher letter recommendation. So it won't be them duplicating the work.
If a college is not using the common apps, so you have to apply through their website and their venue, and once a transcript, is there a way to request the transcript for them through Xello?
No, there is not at this time.
If the student was in private school and just now started public school, would she get access to it? As soon as they are registered at the school, that Skyward information is imported nightly. So within 24 to 48 hours, they would have access to Xello. Do you know when the next district class rankings will come out? I don't know the answer to that. That's a question for your school counselor. Let's see.
I did see a question that we might have skipped over. I'll
I'm
just read
sorry.
that out loud. No worries. My senior already has recommendation letters from teachers and counselors. Will my senior have to ask teachers and counselors to upload recommendation letters in Xello? Yes, they will. The important part to that is your student will want to integrate their Xello and Common App account first. That way, the counselor and teachers within the school can see the requests that they have put in for them to provide recommendation letters. So the first step to getting those recommendation letters in would be your student linking their Common App in Xello and then requesting those educators to provide those recommendations, and then they can upload it through Xello.
My daughter is in the gifted program. Does the Xello tool provide information for scholarships for college and university?
Yes, it does. There's actually national scholarships that are pulled in by Xello that students can explore based off of grade level. And it also has a profile matching system where students can put in some general information about themselves, and it allows them to see what scholarships may connect to their background or skill sets.
Will schools outside of Florida have access to this application? If heard correctly, it is a mandatory application for Florida. Two-part question. I'm going to answer the second part first. It is mandatory, so all the students would have to do it. But outside of Florida, it's a national vendor, so they have clients and school districts all over United States. High school transcripts request is also through Xello.
So I'll go ahead and answer that. If your student is applying to colleges through Common App and those transcripts are required for the schools they are applying to, the counselor will upload a copy of that individual transcript within Xello. Now, if you're requesting an official transcript for other purposes outside of the Common App, that is something that you will want to go to the school to work through that process to request an official transcript.
Does Xello provide information for parents who are new immigrants in the style of school education and college admissions in the U.S. for dummies? Something that outlines the most important steps and actions so that they don't miss any opportunities for their child's successful educational journey. So there are quite a few things that there's a lot of resources out there for parents, any parent that would allow them to have a step-by-step what to do kind of checklist for their student. But I'm going to let Mr. Palmer speak more on that.
Yeah, so going off of Mr. Grace's response within Xello, there are a few different learning activities where students can explore the different pathways, and it provides details on what each of those pathways entail, as well as the steps to reaching that particular pathway. For example, if a student is interested in learning more about four-year universities, it will share all the details of what is necessary in order to gain admission to a four-year university. It'll also outline the pathway or the process to reach the military if a student is interested in that pathway as well.
If I heard correctly, this has not been rolled out to the students, right? It has been officially rolled out. We're already doing progress reports for the first quarter. Many of our teachers are still being trained, but they're not behind, and neither are our students. But once the student has been exposed to the platform, and again, it's built into the curriculum of electives, and for 8th grade, it'd be U.S. history, things like that. So yes, it is being rolled out. How about charter school students? Yes, they will have access to Xello, but their access will be different. They will not be going through Launchpad. Their school counselors would have that information, but it would be a login for them. Does UCF use Xello? How can we know which university does use Xello?
So I'll jump in on that. So this is a K through 12 platform that is partnered with Common App or integrated with Common App. So it would be finding out if the universities that your students are interested in are utilizing Common App as their application portal or website. So what a student can do to find that out, they can actually go to Common App's website to see all the partner institutions that utilize Common App for the college application process, or your student can go to the admissions website of the college or university that they're interested in applying to see the different ways they can apply to that school. So again, this is a K-12 platform, so it's not necessarily the universities using Xello, it's whether or not the universities utilize Common App, which integrates with Xello.
My daughter's in 9th grade. When should we start working on the process towards obtaining a scholarship?
So I'll jump in on that one as well. Really, that process starts as soon as they begin taking high school coursework. That means, maintaining strong academic grades in all of their coursework, looking at opportunities to seek extracurricular involvement in areas of interest. And those things will not only help prepare your student to be competitive for scholarship opportunities, but also for university admissions as well. So the effort starts now, it begins now, and I definitely encourage your student, if they're thinking about the four-year university pathway, to put their best foot forward and begin to try to also get some experiences outside of the classroom as well.
Thank you. I think that was our last question in the chat. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or Mr. Palmer. Our information is in the chat above, but I'm putting it in the chat here again. If you need to email us, please feel free to. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Hey, Chris. So, parents, thank you for your participation in today's session. Thank you to Christopher Grace for your valuable information, and Robert Palmer. Thank you very much for answering basically all the questions in the chat. That was great. I believe all of you received fantastic information. This is an excellent opportunity for the students to start thinking about future careers. And I hope that everybody start using it actively. So if you have any further questions, as Chris said before, you can call us or you can email us. I put the email in the chat already for you. There's also a link to a survey. There's no need to answer it because once we finish, you're gonna receive an email with this survey. Or you can go there and link there. I also in the chat put the links for our next activities. Our big event is going to be on September 21st. It's going to be next Saturday. Not this one, the next one, Saturday at Boone High School. We're going to have more than 87 colleges and career-oriented organizations to give information to the parents. And we have also panelists talking about the difficult process sometimes to get the students into college. So once again, thank you very much for all of you for participating in today's session. And we expect to see you there on September 21st at Boone High School College and Career Fair and in our future virtual mini academies. So again, thank you very much. Have a good night. Bye.